There are a lot of fantasy gamers out there that just need a running back to get through this week. They just need to find one off waivers, so they just throw them in their starting lineup, wash their hands, and just start the week strong because they don't have anything else to lean on. Unfortunately, Jonathan Taylor will be out of the lineup. There's a lot of speculation whether he'll be playing or not going into this week. He was practicing, but as of just about an hour or so ago, he was declared out due to his ankle injury. Nyheim Hines isn't going to be available either because of the concussion issue. So that leaves us what's left on the roster to deal with for fantasy football. And we have Deon Jackson and Philip Lindsay. The big reach right now, fantasy gamers are talking about right now, is Deon Jackson, and mainly because he got a lot more touches last week. He's been in the offense a little longer, and there are some things in his profile that you can look at and be like, yeah, this could be all right. This could help us out. But honestly, we're just trying to patch the hole in the wall here. We're just trying to get some carries logged in the books here to get some kind of points. Last week, in a horrific matchup that was slow-paced and ugly, he had 13 carries for 62 yards and 4 catches for 29 yards. PPR, that ain't too bad. It's over 10 fantasy points. That's like, 12 or so there. So that's not horrible. Had 2.33 yards after contact per attempt. That's okay. In the passing game, he's averaging 8 yards after the catch per reception. This is on a very, very, very small sample size. What I do like about him is he's a thicker running back at 218 pounds, ran a 4.47 40-yard dash, 90th percentile speed score, so he can get it done between the tackles, has the burst to pull away, and we see that on film. We see that when he's on the field. Just not an elite tier rusher, obviously, because he's just down there on the depth chart. Against the Jaguars this week, we're looking at a matchup with a 41 over-under and a tight spread. So a low-scoring game with not much output and a low implied point total. This matchup indicates that it may not be good for fantasy production for a lot of players in this game. Since it's supposed to be a lower-scoring game, you lost Jonathan Taylor, so there's going to be a little bit less back-and-forth action. You can run on the Jaguars a little bit from what we've seen this year. Miles Sanders run up a $134 on them. Dameon Pierce had 99 yards last week. Antonio Gibson rushed for 58 yards and had 72 receiving yards. Jonathan Taylor, in a bad game script, had 54 yards receiving. I noticed just by looking at the box scores, just from going back from what I remember from these games, it's a tighter game script. The rushing production is up a little bit. However, there have been games where Jaguars have been ahead, and it's been harder to get the rushing production out of that. We are expecting a lower scoring game here, so this may not be super productive overall. You also got Philip Lindsay in the mold there, and it was almost a 50-50 split when it came to carries. I think Jackson had 2 more last week than him, so you may want to just roll the dice on either one you get. You may want to just pick whichever one's there. Then one of them, Deon Jackson, might be already picked up. News just hit recently. He may not be on waivers anymore. He was on waivers on 97% of ESPN leagues just a few minutes ago. That is changing by the minute. You just want to check your league. If you're hurting at running back, I mean, you got to patch up sometime, and sometimes you got to get a patch up running back. Is this sexy? No. Do you need him? Not unless you need him. And you'll know if you need him. But if you're doing these start-sit questions about him, just think about this matchup. It's not sexy, and really you're just hoping that either Lindsay or Jackson falls over the end zone. They just fall in there. They get lucky because you're not going to get a super productive game. With me saying that now, probably one of them is going to ring up over 100 yards rushing. But odds are, just from a fundamental standpoint, we're looking at a low-volume game and probably almost an even split between these two running backs. Not good unless you just need some sort of points for your fantasy team. And then sometimes you get a guy like this off the waivers and you just throw him in there, close your eyes, and hope for the best. That's just what you're doing here with these two running backs. You're throwing them on your lineup, closing your eyes, and you're hoping for the best. That's what I got for you. Not a sexy take at all. not the sexiest thing to do, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, and this unfortunately has to be it for some of you guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about Deon Jackson or Phillip Lindsay, which one you want to start, either or, both, or who you need to start. Let me know in the comments. Make sure you smash that like button on the way out. Really helps the video in the algorithm, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I am dropping videos like this left and right, just giving my analysis, pulling up stats, and just helping you out with your fantasy teams when it comes to waiver wire pickups, trade talk, rankings, and whatever I can come up with. I want to thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next vid.